It's midnight on New Year's Eve. Your world stays still, but inside your brain, everything changes. Anticipation triggers a dopamine rush, and the collective countdown tells your mind a reset is real, even when nothing actually happened. Why does time itself feel powerful? And what does your brain imagine will happen next? The real story starts the moment the clocks strike 12. 12 chimes echo through crowded rooms and city squares. As the clock strikes midnight, voices merge into a single countdown, each number building a sense of urgency. The brain is wired to notice these synchronized signals. When thousands chant together, the effect is amplified. Neural circuits attune to the collective rhythm, heightening attention and arousal. Studies show that simultaneous group actions, like chanting or clapping, intensify emotional responses far beyond what happens in isolation. The shared anticipation acts as a social amplifier, making the moment feel more important than it would alone. This crowd-driven synchrony triggers the brain's internal alarm, convincing it that something significant is happening. The sense of a fresh start is not just personal, it is magnified by the energy of those around us, turning a simple clock change into a powerful psychological event.
If you want more stories like this, like and subscribe. Your support helps us investigate the stories that still need answers.
The moment the clock flips to midnight, nothing in the outside world truly changes. Heart rate, body temperature, and hormone cycles remain steady, following the same circadian rhythms as any other night. Yet the sense of transformation feels real and immediate. This disconnect is rooted in perception. The brain treats midnight as a symbolic threshold, not a biological one. Physiological measurements, such as cortisol levels and core body temperature, show no sudden shift as the date changes. Still, the mind interprets the arrival of midnight as an invitation to reset, to imagine a new version of oneself. This is not a response to any measurable change in the body, but to the meaning assigned by the mind. Midnight's power lies in belief, not in biology. In the final minutes before midnight, the brain's reward system lights up with anticipation. Dopamine, the chemical that drives motivation, surges along a pathway from the ventral tegmental area deep in the brain to the nucleus accumbens, a key hub for reward and pleasure. Dr. Elena Markov, a neuroscientist specializing in reward prediction, explains that this spike is not triggered by the actual arrival of midnight, but by the expectation that something meaningful is about to happen. The brain, conditioned by years of ritual and memory, learns to associate the countdown with the promise of change. Dopamine levels peak just before the clock strikes 12, not during or after. This chemical rush creates a wave of hope and energy, powering the sense of possibility in those final seconds. The surge is fleeting, but in that moment, it feels real, an invisible force convincing the mind that transformation is within reach. As midnight arrives, the brain's attention shifts inward. The mind begins to picture a future self, stronger, wiser, finally free of old mistakes. This act of imagination is not just wishful thinking. Studies of the brain's default mode network show that in quiet moments, the mind naturally drifts towards scenarios that haven't happened yet. On New Year's Eve, this tendency intensifies. The brain sketches out a new identity, editing out past failures and projecting the best possible version forward. For a brief window, this imagined self feels more real than the person standing in the present. The mind rehearses new routines, envisions healthier habits, and writes a story where change comes easily. This mental rewrite can overshadow reality, making the gap between who we are and who we hope to become seem almost invisible. For a few minutes, the future feels as tangible as the ticking of the clock. Within minutes of midnight, the surge of dopamine that fueled anticipation collapses. Neurochemical measurements show levels dropping rapidly back to baseline, erasing the earlier high. The mind, once buzzing with hope and new plans, snaps back to familiar routines. Old habits resurface, and the imagined future self fades into the background. This crash is not subtle. Studies link the sudden dopamine decline to feelings of emptiness or letdown, a hollow echo after the excitement. The brain's reward system, having fired in expectation, now leaves motivation depleted. In this moment, the promise of transformation gives way to the stubborn pull of the past. Alcohol and other substances add another layer of complexity to the midnight experience. Emergency rooms report that admissions for alcohol and drug-related incidents double or even triple in the early hours of January 1st. These chemicals don't just blur judgment, they alter the way memories are formed, tagging the night with heightened emotion but fractured recall. As inhibition drops, the brain's ancient wiring for risk and reward becomes more pronounced, making impulsive choices feel not only possible, but necessary. Professor James Liu, an expert in evolutionary economics, notes that the drive to celebrate with substances is rooted in a survival strategy, seeking short-term pleasure when uncertainty peaks. The result is a perfect storm, modern stimulants colliding with age-old instincts, steering decisions that may feel urgent in the moment, but are rarely remembered with clarity the next day. Midnight doesn't change you, your choices do. The brain's belief in fresh starts is powerful, but fleeting. Real change begins when intention outlasts the countdown. What will you choose tomorrow?